This is the international Y-pipe collector for the up pipes. It's good quality. Just some extra tailings here. Not really tailings, just like part of the mold. So I'm going to grind those out with this. Okay, much better. Nice and smooth. Should be good for another 50 horsepower. Riffraff bellowed up pipe. Just gonna set it in, see how it fits. There's the original. Assembled up pipes, torqued, gaskets installed. Torqued to like 250 inch-pounds. Directions didn't give a torque spec. I just went to the max on my inch-pound torque wrench. Transferred over the heat shields. You can get these metal cable ties on Amazon, like 10 bucks for 100 or something. It's crazy cheap. Yeah, and I'm able to set this in completely assembled. I dry fitted it. So yeah, I'll give it a shot. A little more progress. Up pipes are in. All 4 manifold bolts are in on the bottom. 2 on each side. They're both loose. I was able to feed the entire assembly in. Both pipes hooked up to the Y. Riffraff bends look good. Pedestals in. Both O-rings are in. I cleaned everything up real good. Torqued these bolts, 18 foot-pounds. And I did do this fuel line. Wasn't too bad. I put a little bit of dielectric grease on the back of that Victron seal so that the nut would turn real smooth. It felt pretty good. Okay, in the next video clip, you're going to see that the turbo's installed. Getting the turbo in here onto that pedestal isn't a big deal. It's that back clamp, a Y collector for the up pipes. So what I did, and I lost my video, I couldn't find it, but what I did is I stuffed this valley with pads, a ton of pads that I got from Harbor Freight and cut to fit in there, big stack. And then I took a pillow, maybe even 2 pillows, I forget, and laid them across here. And I arranged it so, you know, it didn't hurt this fuel line. And, you know, I had a situation here with the HPOP that you can see is installed, and made it so I was completely comfortable laying across this valley so I could get both hands on that up pipe collector clamp. And make sure you put the clamp on the collector for the up pipes. Just set it there loose, and you want to make sure that nut is loose enough so that it'll fit over the turbo and the collector once it's mated. And I test fit that on the turbo to make sure it would fit over that thing. So when I put the turbo in and I got it lined up, the clamp would go on there. And then the bottom bolts on these up pipes at the exhaust manifolds, I removed them completely. Initially I had them in there just really loose, but I was struggling a little bit. So then I just completely removed them, and then that gave a little bit more movement because there's a pin on that collector that has to seat into the turbo. And once that happens, you'll know it's good because the clamp will rotate freely around. And then you can get in there with it on the side with a light and see that that thing is seated. And you'll know that it's all good because as you tighten up that nut, and before it's completely tight and you still have some free room, that that clamp will rotate smoothly all the way around that mating situation, if that makes sense. But yeah, try to get yourself comfortable, spend some time to put some pads and pillows there. Leave those up pipes loose at the bottom, and it's doable. It's not impossible. This picture showing my pad situation. Look at that stack of pads. And actually what I did, now that I remember, I stuffed a huge towel in the valley, maybe even 2 towels. Towels in the valley, pads, then a pillow. And then this bungee is holding that Y collector up against the turbo. That helped a lot. Riffraff actually suggested that, and that really did help. Once it's mated, you pull that bungee cord tight, and then you can get that clamp on. You can manipulate the clamp, and so that's a third hand, that bungee cord. And I had to actually cut this thing to get it out of there once it's done, because the clearance in the back here is really tight. Notice the heat shield. I did get a piece of heat shield and stick that back on there. That was some extra heat shield I had left around from my motorcycle that I used on my gas tank. That stuff's great. I'll try and leave a link for that on Amazon. Really good stuff. Okay, here's another note on the up pipe manifold clamp. See that wing nut right there? Right there? And that machine bolt? It's going through the clamp. I put that there. So that keeps the clamp bolt in place. So when you're tightening this nut, it doesn't pop out, because it tends to pop out when you go to tighten it and you can't hold the other side. So that's a nightmare reliever. So that's going to be there for all time. It's not going anywhere. And then over here, you can see I got the downpipe on. That one's relatively easy. I'll take a quick video from down below. Right here is where I put that machine bolt and wing nut to hold that in. Otherwise, when you go to tighten this, that thing pops out. Difficult. Okay, here's down below. Everything's buttoned up. Everything's tight. These fit well. Thank you, Riffraff. The bottom bolts here on each side, you gotta kind of put in halfway with this thing, rotate it up, and then rotate it down, and then they'll go in, because they won't clear in the back, but it's easy. And then here is the downpipe. One trick on this, it went right in when I did this trick, which is this pipe right here, the back section. I had a bunch of wood right in here, like 2x material, to keep it all the way up and all the way back. That gave enough room right here for the downpipe to clear the front of the pipe, and then it just popped right up there, like real easy. So that was nice. And to keep that pipe back, I had to undo this hanger. So this hanger was completely loose, and so was that hanger back there, so that I could push this all the way back and get that clearance I needed. Yeah, that's boy good. Here's the passenger side. Nice, good, tight seal. You can see the bellows up here. You can see the heat shield I transferred. Looks good.